I received a number of emails from the Electoral Commission being the leader of a political party, right? So it's not just me it's coming out to. But in that letter, they stated that they have had numerous complaints, 40 plus, and they're now changing the law, and they've put it out to people as part of a survey, me included. And it's about postal ballots. And they've said there's quite a bit of concern out there, 40 complaints. So I want you to remember, when we work as a team and you individually send these complaints out, if you think you're small and insignificant, if the Electoral Commission are restructuring postal ballots because of ballot harvesting, imagine what it's like when they get hundreds of emails from you. It does have an impact. It's not just about voting. So we're the English Constitution Society as a massive campaign group. The objective is to get more and more people behind England and the rule of law and our ancient customs, history, etc., and push it forward so people say, hang on a minute, what are you doing to England? This response was me as the leader of a political party, and this is what I said to them. There should be no external chain of custody with any ballot. This current system is manipulated and abused by political campaign fraudsters who clearly commit willful damage to the electors. This is a direct abuse of universal suffrage, active and passive. That means an active suffrage is you voting, and passive suffrage is the person trying to be elected. So if I'm trying to be elected as a member of parliament, that is termed as passive, and you are the active electors. Universal suffrage is both things. You can't interfere with either one of them. If you do, you're going against someone's human rights and rights of others. This is also a human rights abuse virtually ignored by the Electoral Commission, Article 21 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The individuals who have been allocated this external type of ballot are often not having their own political views represented, but are misrepresented by the political views of the campaign organiser and collectors. Ashby versus White 1703 is a current constitutional law and an entrenched common law judgment. That judgment from the archives clearly states via 10-2 House of Lords judgment and backed by Queen Anne that a vote is consent to be governed and to be taxed. A vote should not be interfered with by the state or any other campaign group. There should not be a risk of interference by process, ballot harvesting. For the Electoral Commission to allow this abuse to continue would be unconstitutional, i.e. unlawful. Where there is a right, there is a remedy. In this instance, the right to vote is open to coercion and fraud and unlawful manipulation of this process. This has a disproportionate effect and unfair effect on other electorates, governance and taxation and human rights. What I'm trying to say, John, if you think people don't take notice of us, they do. And by law, campaign groups that stand in a court that represent hundreds of people have more weight than a single person on their own. It's already been stated in law that we will look at that as a more serious case because, in effect, you're presenting what the Americans call a class action, what we actually call a group litigation order, a GLO. So we've got a different name for it, but it means virtually the same thing. And you become part of that. That's why it's important. So the people who don't like politics, when you join us, you're joining a campaign group for liberty, justice and freedom. And no one can argue with that. We're the only people out there telling people there is a separation of powers. And that's what we're making sure is being enforced